In this video, I will show how the world's largest frisbee is made.
In an earlier video, we throw this giant frisbee down a mountain. If you've not seen that video, go check out the link in the description. Let's first see how we make the 4-foot disc. The products that we use in this video are listed in the description below. Step 1 is cutting the EPS foam board into a circle. Initially, I used the rope mat, but struggled to keep the pencil straight. So I pivoted to a piece of wood. I drill a hole for the screwdriver to keep it along its center point in the foam board. I first wanted to draw a circle line on the foam, but quickly figured I might as well just cut the foam directly alongside the wood. And now we have a beautiful disc. Step 2 is cutting the rings from the base to create a lip. The Frisbee flies because the airflow under the disc is shorter and slower, and the airflow over the disc is longer and faster, mostly because of that lip. And this causes different pressure zones above and below the disc, creating lift, which causes the disc to fly. So to create this lip, we need to cut off rings from the outer edge of the disc at a 45-degree angle that are the same width as the foam material is thick. And this is important, as the rings may otherwise not align, and that's a mistake I made on the first ring. Then step 3 is restacking and gluing the rings onto the disc. We turn around the rings relative to the disc, so that as we stack them, it creates a cone-shaped bowl. I first glue the large ring onto the disc, and then the smaller ring onto the larger ring that is already put onto the disc. We turn it around, put some weights on it, and let it harden out.
So we have glued the rings onto the main disc, and now it's time to smoothen out the edges and then glue the rope under the ring. And I use duct tape to tighten everything up.
I cut off all excess material on the outside of the disc, as this helps the airflow over the disc later on. And then we add some rope to provide some weight on the bottom of the disc, but also to add some extra structural strength and to have some grip while throwing. I used basically the same glue as I used for the foam, but yeah, feel free to use whatever glue you want. And then we need to add duct tape. I do this first on the outside and then on the inside. This not only makes this more rigid, but it also makes it more smooth. And then I cover the rope with duct tape, which sticks nicely to the already applied duct tape on the in and outside of the disc. And now the disc already feels really sturdy with these modifications. The last step is what I call prettification, or making the disc more pretty. I added some colored tape to make it look really awesome, but also get some visual orientation of spinning once we throw it off the mountain in the other video. Once again, if you have not seen that video, go check out the link in the description below.
Mad.
For the 8-foot Frisbee, we start out with exactly the same 4-foot disc as with the previous Frisbee. We need to cut wedge-shaped pieces of cardboard to create the outside portion of the giant disc. A pro tip for free cardboard, at least in the Netherlands: once a month we put out our used paper on the streets, what we called old paper, and the government picks it up for recycling. Early in the morning, we went out to collect some of the free cardboard that was put on the streets, and we used it for our disc. Step 2 is fitting the wedge-shaped cardboard to the disc. Once we have enough wedges, make them fit the foam board. And once everything fits perfectly, we start pre-bending all the wedges at exactly the same point, which I measured and marked on each wedge. And there you have it, the disc is starting to form. Step 3 is gluing everything together. Once we know it all fits and the wedges are pre-formed, we can start gluing them to the foam disc. After gluing, we turn the construction over, put some weights onto the foam disc, and we let the glue harden out again. With a thin strip of cardboard of about 1 to 2 inches, we glue the wedges into a disc shape, so the curve of the disc shape. Step 5 is adding rope to the base for, again, bottom weight of the Frisbee, structural strength and grip while throwing. In this case, we directly duct taped the rope onto the cardboard instead of gluing them first. And then step 6 is taping, in particular covering all the wedge seams. First on the inside, then we flip over the disc and then on the outside. And then the last step, step 7, is prettification, or making the disc more pretty again. In this case, we used colored duct tape with yellow and blue to make it more appealing to look at, but also, again, to see the disc orientation while throwing once we throw this gigantic Frisbee off the mountain. If you've not seen that video, go check out the video in the description.